Good morning. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me to come and see our July card kit. Now this is the Maximum Crafts card kit. Earlier in the month we had John Lockwood's card kit, so now we are my turn. I'm going with an older die, so many of you may well have it if you've been a fan of Sue Wilson or this type of thing for some time, because this one was quite a few years ago, but it nevertheless is just such a pretty and very versatile die. And so with your card kit for July from Maximum Crafts, you will receive this barley die completely free. So you will have the Indonesian collection die, and ignore the squares for the minute because it's just this bit here. There's 4 dies in the set. There's an outer and then a very pretty lacy second one, then another outer, and then another pretty lacy middle one. Now I've teamed it up as well with 2 dies from the fairly new rounded corner die set from Sue Wilson. This is a set of 20 dies, not included in your kit, but available if you would like to have something like that in your stash. So 20 dies ranging from just over 17 centimetres square to just under 2 centimetres square. So fits on nicely with anything like an 8-inch die set envelope. Looking very nice. I have used it to make a frame. So if we were to count our die sets as the largest one being number 1, which is actually this one. So if you just see, that's the largest one. So number 1, and then I've teamed it up with die number 5. So that makes us a nice little frame, but you'll be pleased to know that we have already cut that out for you. So you will receive in your kit a die cut frame. And there you can see what it looks like, because it is very pretty. It just is a little bit different given those rounded corners, just making it a little bit softer, and I thought that it looked nice with the rounded edges of this actual die set. So you will receive this already pre-cut, you will receive the barley die set, and you will also receive all the card and bits and pieces to make up something similar, get it round the right way, to this. Now this was made with a slightly different colour than the one I've sent you, because I just couldn't get away with not using it any longer, and I'm going to send you some of the periwinkle blue card. Now it doesn't look very different on the screen here today, but it's just very, very pretty blue, and so you will receive your 2 sheets of periwinkle card and a sheet of white card, your already pre-cut frame, and your barley die and your card blank. You will also receive, you may be able to see this just here, this already pre-embossed background here, because that again does look rather nice, and so you have a sheet of that in there as well. I haven't included the sentiment and the pearls, preference to yourself. You may wish to do something like that or not, and I thought I wouldn't put the sentiment on because I'm sure you've all got a sentiment or even an occasion that you might want to use this for rather than something else. So let's get along and let me show you how we make this card up. So as I said, my die set consists of 4 dies. Let me just take these up so that you can actually see what we're talking about. So you have got the outer die here, die number 1. Die number 2 has no cutting outer edge or inner edge, so you do need to have that around it, and the same if you were making it into a frame, you would need that in the centre, and that one like that type of thing. So it's all mix and match. So what are we going to cut out from, what do we need to cut out from there? So to start off with, we are going to take our outer cutting dies only, die number 1 and die number 3. We need to cut out 1 in periwinkle blue of die number 1, and 3 from die number 3. Okay, so that is all from periwinkle card. Pop that to one side. Then you're going to take these 2 dies and you're going to use the lovely lacy parts with them as well. So we're going to pop that into there, and we're going to pop that one into there. So the usual trick of holding the tape down and keeping those with as even a border as you can all the way around. And we're going to then cut one piece out of white card from this one, and we need 2 pieces from this one, and this is with the white card that you will also get. And we also need from the white card just a plain piece of white for the centre piece, and that is simply 5 centimetres by 5 centimetres, or if we're into inches, 2 inches, isn't it? Yeah, 2 inches square. I had to think about that. So we've got all our pieces all ready to go here. And a lovely die set, which we're not going to need at the moment. So I'll just pop that back on the board so we know where all our pieces are. Okay. So you also have, pop all those to one side, you also have your card blank, which is, as I said, an 8-inch card blank. And we're going to first of all cut ourselves some mats and layers for this. And we're going to take the other sheet of our periwinkle card, and I'm going to cut that to a 19 centimetre square mat. So 19 centimetre, if you're working in inches, is about 7.5 inches square. So I'll just trim that down. So 19, by 19. And then, before I put anything else away, I'm going to take my embossed piece. Now that has already been cut into an A5 size, so it's approximately 15 inch wide across this short edge. So I'm just going to square it off to the 15 centimetre or 6 inch just on that side as well. So that's just giving you, it's not an exact, doesn't need to be exact, it's just a rough, so you've got a 15 centimetre square piece for the centre. So now we can do a little bit of construction. Decide whether you want your card top folding or side folding. I'm going to do a top folding card, and I'm first of all going to take my piece of periwinkle blue card. I'm going to pop some glue onto the back of that and pop that straight down. Giving myself that little bit of a border all the way around. Then I'm going to take my piece of embossed card. Now I can use that either the debossed way, so that the lines are going into the card, or where the lines sit out of the card, whichever you prefer. I should use it this way around, so that I've got the embossed side on the top. And I'm just going to centre that as much as I can into the centre of my card, like that. So I'm going to pop that to one side because we need to construct our shapes here of the barley die. So first of all, I'm going to stick my white piece onto my periwinkle blue. I could spray it, but it's a fairly easy shape to just run some glue around the outer piece. If you've got spray glue, that's fine, but if you haven't, you don't need to go onto all of those little lines there necessarily. And this one fits absolutely over the top of our other one. Just going to pop that into place, and then I'm going to carefully turn that over so that I can give it some more pressure from the other side, like that. Then I'm going to take 2 of my blue wiggly squares and my two lovely ornate pieces, and I'm going to stick those down together. So again, just going to go on that edge. Oops. And again, if you want to spray it, that's absolutely fine. Just try and put a little bit extra here. And that again goes absolutely over the top of our other one. So pop it into place, turn it over, and then I can really press down on the other side without it risking getting mucky. I know I've got a little bit of excess glue there, but as it dries clear, that will soon disappear. And I may not need that particular piece because we're going to chop these about just a little bit. So I'm going to do the same with this one. Pop in that little bit of glue on the outer line and a little bit here and there as well. You could use a glue glaze for this as well, of course, or your spray glue, or excuse me, any other that you feel is your favourite type of glue for this sort of thing. So popping that again absolutely over the top. Oh, just a bit of wiggle room there, and then pop that on the other side and a good old push down. And then this little square goes directly, turn it around the right way, onto my piece here. So I'm going to pop that down there as well. So that is ready to go. So now we're simply going to pop this together. So first of all, I'm going to get my frame for this. And if you can imagine, our framed piece, our centerpiece, the main piece is going to go into the center there, but I'm going to fill in these little corners, and to do that I'm going to chop about these two because they're going to give me the four corners. I'm going to chop about these two. So I'm going to lift up that corner. I'm going to see where it is that I want to chop that about, and if you sort of pop, I'm not paying attention to what's on the outside here. I'm only paying attention to what's coming through this corner because I'm going to chop that about. So I can see that I've got in this corner, I've got the two little pieces here and then that one little piece, and then that gives me a central piece to it. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut into that corner there, so that when I put that underneath there, no one would know that that is all going to be beautifully done like that. So I'm just going to put some glue on that in a second. So then, in order to cut the other side, we will put that into there. You can see I've got those two pieces showing like I had just now, the two inner pieces there and that little piece. So I'm just going to trim that down. And that's going to go tucked into that corner there. Actually, no, I think I'm going to change that slightly. I'm going to have it so that there's just that one piece. You can do yours as however you wish. I actually think that looks prettier now. Oh, so that it's actually like that. So that it's just got the one piece there. And so we need to do that for the bottom. So if I cut that and that, and then that piece and that piece, just chop it about however you want, and we're going to just have all four pieces looking the same. So how are we going to achieve that? I'm going to pop onto the wrong side, a little bit of glue quite close to the edge on these two pieces here first, on those two edges alone. I can hold it up in the air, I can take one of the pieces and I can just offer that up from behind with that little centerpiece there and just wiggle that about so that that is even there. Take this one and do the same, making that little corner so that we can just see it. And just press down there, turn that over. Looks funny from the outside, from the wrong side rather, but luckily no one's going to see that. Take that over the other way, and again, matching pattern, just having that one little piece here so that we can see it. And finally, this little one, oops, here. We've just again got that one little piece that's showing through. So you've now got 4 very, very pretty corners. And no one knows that it looks a bit funny from the other side, but it just looks really pretty from this side. So I'm going to turn that over, and of course I can hear you all shouting it now. I'm going to pop some foam tape onto the back. So this will also help to adhere and secure those corners, because we're going to be able to go over the corners, but just hold that nicely. I'm just popping my 2mm tape, foam tape, onto the back of my frame, and I can then take off these protective pieces, add in a little bit of glue just to be sure. Onto there before we put it onto our card front. And bring in our card front again. Just before I do, stick it down. Oh, if I could get hold of it. Yeah, we're okay, just sticking it out the right way. Now I'm just going to hover this over and just make sure that this is as central as I can. That gives a fairly even space all the way around, which is great. Then of course I'm going to put a bit of foam onto the back of the barley shape, like so. And again, just take off the tape there. So you do, in your card kits, you will need to add any foam or glue. And as I said, in this case, the sentiment, so that you're not overwhelmed with just all of the same sentiments, I felt was probably safest. So I'm fairly centralising that, like so. I think that's about right, maybe a little tad over that way. And then I shall even put a little bit of foam, probably just about enough, onto here for the centrepiece, like so. Then that's going to go in the centre. Now I have taken the opportunity of putting a sentiment for this one, and I've cut out a couple of little happy birthday sentiments that I had, or rather one sentiment which I've cut out twice, just so that it gives that bit more stability on there. So that's going to go into the centre there, like that. And then I've already cut out 2 of the happy birthdays, but let's put a bit of glue on there. I've stuck them one on top of another. Just pick up the glue from there. Not sure if I've got enough on there, so just to be sure. And then I can stick my happy birthday into the centre, like so. And I think just for good measure, I shall add a couple of little embellishments, but you don't have to. it's entirely up to you, and these would be from your own stash because they're sort of like, you might not want to add them. You might want to, you know, entirely up to you. Just seeing where I might go with some more because you know me. So the die and all of the bits and pieces ready to do your card project as I've shown, including the pre-embossed background here and the pre-cut frame, are all available over on the maximumcraft.com website. They will be available for at least a week. Do try to do that now with all of the card kits so that everybody gets a chance, because not everybody can watch it live or at any one time. So I think that's about right. That's picked out. I've just gone on wherever there is a little cross, really, to put my embellishments in. So there you go. So there is our project, our craft card kit for the month of July from Maximum Crafts. As I said, you will receive all of the bits and pieces, including the lovely die set. Of barley. So that's the die set that you're going to get. And that's about it, really. So I will be back on Wednesday evening. So that is Wednesday the 27th of July, and I will be back at 6 o'clock with some more projects to show you. And I think that's about all I needed to tell you today. So thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate your time. Don't forget that this is always available, so you don't have to watch live, but it's always there ready for you to see. So thank you once again, and I shall see you again on Wednesday, hopefully. Take care till then. Bye-bye.